What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Storm the Court podcast. I'm your host, Zane Ellis. We just witnessed the Golden State Warriors absolutely dismantle the Sacramento Kings, 130 to 104. I don't want to overreact, but it kind of feels like the Warriors have recaptured that 2015 swagger, don't you think? They were firing on all cylinders tonight. Going into this game, expectations were pretty high. The Warriors were favored by 7 points at home, and with both teams trying to build momentum, this was no snooze fest. No major injuries to note for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler sat this one out, but they managed just fine without him. Meanwhile, the Kings looked to find their footing, but fell short in an overall lackluster effort. All right, let's break down the action. The Kings were never really in this one. They got smacked around in the first half, trailing 63 to 51 at the break. In the third quarter, the Warriors poured it on, outscoring the Kings by 15 points, and completely took the wind out of their sails. And let's be real, to lose by this margin as a supposed rival doesn't just hurt your pride, it's a serious wake-up call. That game was a roller coaster of emotions. Early intrigue gave way to disbelief as the Kings just couldn't find an answer, and the joy of watching the Warriors dominate was palpable. Now, let's talk about some individual performances. Draymond Green led the Warriors with 23 points, and folks, he didn't even look like the same guy from last season. 57% from the field, 4 three-pointers? You thinking what I'm thinking? Draymond might just be back to his all-star form, the kind of form that once earned him comparisons to guys like Kevin Garnett in terms of his versatility and impact. And Curry? He had an off night, putting up just 11 points but dished out 5 assists. Still, you can feel his presence breathing life into the team. Moses Moody dropped 17 points, which feels like a potential breakout performance for him going into the playoffs. And can we take a moment for Q Post? He came off the bench and added a solid 10 points, showing that depth we talked about. On the flip side, DeMar DeRozan was really the only bright spot for the Kings, putting up 23 points while also trying to rally his team. But they simply couldn't match the Warriors' energy. You can't expect to win games when guys like Zach LaVine and Keegan Murray combined for just 20 points. Their shooting numbers were atrocious, and you have to think they were hoping for a miracle. Here's my hot take. The Warriors are looking like a real threat. They're balanced, they're deep, and that's something we didn't see last year. Gotta love that vibes are eerily reminiscent of the 2014 Spurs. Team play, ball movement, and everyone eating. Just wild to think that they were somehow written off early this season. Where were everyone when they were struggling? So, what does tonight mean as we look ahead? The Warriors should feel pretty hyped about their playoff potential. The Kings? Well, they need to figure things out fast. If they want to make a playoff run, they'll need to have a serious heart-to-heart. Thanks for tuning in to the Storm the Court pod. Catch you next time.